Welcome to UWS Weekly. Good to see everybody again this afternoon after this morning's show, talking a little bit with FC Buffalo and Nick Mendola as they prepare to host the 2024 Summer Soccer National Championship in Buffalo, New York, July 19th through the 21st. One of those teams hoping to make it to that opportunity in Buffalo is the Hudson Valley Crusaders. Last year, Hudson Valley had a UWS League Two team, which they still carry, but were promoted to UWS League One this summer and did really, really well in their inaugural campaign, making the playoffs, where tomorrow they head to Copper Mine United to take on Copper Mine in Baltimore. So it should be a good, interesting matchup. We are currently on a score alert. It is 1-0 Michigan Legends over the Jaguars currently. Score could change here. We're trying to keep tabs, as the winner of that match will play Indiana Union this weekend, Saturday, for the right to play in the national championship. For those of you who aren't remembering, SC Blue Heat, contingency out west in LA, they're going to be out in Buffalo. They've got the automatic bid, as did FC Buffalo for hosting, with some of the matchups still to occur this coming week. So with that, I bring on Casey Stoll, Natalie Kelchner, Hannah, who is the founder, owner, GM, extracurricular, everything on that end for Hudson Valley, and Coach Mitch. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you guys this evening.
Good to see you.
I think Hannah's screen might be frozen, so we'll take her off and we'll bring her back on once we can see how that's working. Listen, year one, you guys did really, really well, I think, for your own personal opportunities. Mitch, we talked a little bit about it before the campaign. You said playoffs or bust. Here we are, playoffs. How excited are you guys?
I said national title, and I still mean national title. So, I think while I am excited to be in the playoffs, I can definitely look back on, the games this year where we didn't get all 3 points. And I can say that beat ourselves, and I think we should be in a little bit of a better position going into playoffs. But happy to be here. We made it here, and goal is still national title.
Casey, Natalie, captains of the side for the Crusaders. Tell me a little bit about your first year in UWS League One. Was it everything you expected or more so?
Casey, I'll let you go first.
Okay, I was just going to say that I'm very proud of how far our team has come, especially since a lot of us haven't played together before. I mean, coming in to our first game was a huge win. We never played some of us had never played before. I think we connected really well, and I think we've been connecting this whole season. So I'm really excited for what we can bring to playoffs. I'm excited to be in playoffs, period. But yes, we do want that national title.
Natalie, what was it like for you?
I think.
Oh, we lost Natalie. All right, we're losing people real quick. We'll bring everybody back once we get those connections set up. But Casey, it has to be special for you. You're playing with two of your two sisters as well on the team, and is there a little bit of a competition on who scores more goals? Because I noticed one of you has 6, the other has 3, and the other sister's got 0. What's going on? What's it like in that household right now?
It is crazy competitive. We have played on the same team before. But especially since we're all in different colleges now, we scrimmage each other in season. It is very competitive. And it's so funny. My parents are always talking about whenever we scrimmage each other during our college seasons, they're like, oh, this Thanksgiving is going to be great. But, so it's so much fun playing. I love playing with my sisters. Competition goal-wise, not so. Maybe between me and Meg a little bit. Kaylee's more of a defensive holding center mid, so not as much. But Megan is by far the top scorer. I can't compete with that. But she's a very strong striker.
Natalie's still trying to go with the get the internet back up as is Hannah. But Mitch, tell us a little bit about this team. Obviously, it has to be somewhat special in order to get where you guys are. Little bit of a hiccup here and there with some draws and leaving some points on the pitch, but overall, what would you say it's been like for year one with you guys?
I would say that the buy-in from the team has been nothing short of incredible. I think that's really what has defined us so far this year. We had some players where there's some games where I'm very transparent with players. With like, hey, you've been a regular starter up until this point. The matchup isn't here for you. There's a chance you might not play. And it's like, no, I still want to travel and be there for my team in case, my number gets called. And that's just something that's been consistent throughout the season, and just having that buy-in and having it be more than just, that summer team that a lot of people often describe it as. I think that's really been the difference maker in the team. And we have 12 different goal scorers, throughout the year. So it's everybody's contributing, everybody's bought in. Everybody, knows their why as to why they're here. They know why the club is here and our goals, and we're all just kind of driving each other to, really accomplish what we want to accomplish as individuals, but also as a club. And I think that's just really special when it comes to what we're doing.
Natalie, we'll go back to you as you kind of cut out on us a little bit. Tell us about year one in UWS and how special it's been to be able to be a part of such an awesome team with so much ambition and opportunity now.
Yeah, sorry, I cut out for a little bit. I have a weird computer, but this experience has been really great. As I was saying before, I played in college for about 5 years, and I've been on numerous summer league teams that have not even come close to this team that I've joined. And now this that I'm out of college and I don't really have that season to go into. This is something that I've really devoted my time and my effort and my energy to being a part of, and as well as being a captain of the team. It's been really, really awesome. I think that the diversity and the level of competition that is brought by this team is honestly astounding. And I am honestly so grateful to be a part of it, because I think that it is something that someone at every age group can benefit from. Me being one of the older people on the team, I think that I benefit so much from this team, but I hope that some of the younger girls who are maybe in college or fighting for a spot in their college teams to have such a positive and reaffirming environment that we can all learn from.
Year one obviously is always a hard year. We see teams, either be really successful in year one of UWS, or it takes them a few years to get going. Mitch, what's been the secret in the sauce in Hudson Valley to kind of get you where you guys are now? Is there a special regimen that you're using? Are you just going game by game? What's the secret here?
I've been asked that before as a coach, and I really don't think there is one. I think it's just doing a lot of the little things. And, it comes down to recruiting, putting a team together, and then most importantly, making sure that your leadership is, on the same page as you. With, our one captain, she had to leave us. She was going to play professionally over in Denmark, but she was with us most of the season. She was the first player that I signed, Swebadu Muhammad, and I made her my coach's captain, and the buy-in from her really set the tone with the rest of the team. And everybody is able to look at a player like her and say, okay, this is somebody who is going to go on and play at a level that I aspire to play at. And they're committed to this. They're bought into this idea. If they're bought in, I have to be bought in too. And I think just, having those players show up to training consistently, us being able to do 11s in training is huge. There's a lot of teams that I think don't have the luxury of, being able to run a training session with that amount of players. And I think that just comes from the buy-in, and that's probably the secret. Just everybody being on the same page, everybody wanting to be there, and everybody wanting to make everybody else better. That's it. I don't think there's any secret.
Hannah, year one has been fun, I guess. Year two, which it is now, what's it been like having the last 2 years? Obviously, being in League Two last year, now League One. What's it been like for you as kind of a GM and owner and partner with this club to get to this point?
It's really rewarding. Obviously, this was always the goal, to have the League One franchise and to provide this level of opportunity. And now that we're here, It's the challenge of not getting complacent and to keep pushing for more and the national title, like we said. So I really appreciate the buy-in from the team, and I just hope to keep that culture going tomorrow.
Lots of goals scored in the first 4 games. In fact, you guys took 10 points out of the first 4, which is good. You had the draw your 3rd game out against the Connecticut Rush. Those first 4 games, Casey, Natalie, what was it like getting out there every day, being able to play? I mean, we're talking 3-0, 5-1, 1-1, and then a 7-0 win. What was it like? Was that helpful to have those successes early on to get you to this point now?
I think that especially from a goalkeeper's perspective, that a couple of those clean sheets were definitely a confidence boost, but it was a testament to the efforts that every single player who stepped on the field and who was on the bench and who was supporting us, that we were all bought in. And I think that Mitch and Hannah both touched on that. The buy-in is super huge. Like, I wasn't anticipating how much I would be bought in before this season, but the amount that I am dedicated to this team is more than I honestly think that I've experienced in my career so far. And I think that the buy-in from both our coaching staff and our general manager, Hannah and Mitch, and even Zach, who's not here, is super reciprocated, because when we buy in, you can tell that they buy in too. And I think that that is like a huge part of why we are successful. And I think that we will continue to be successful. Sorry.
Casey, as a captain, you know, that 5th game, you guys went to Ludlow, Massachusetts, and lost 4-0 to the Mutiny. A lot of times when you go to those matches and you come out with that result, especially after being so successful early on, the wheels can fall off real quick. What was it like? What was the conversations in the locker room like as a captain to make sure everybody knew that, hey, it's a little speed bump. We're going to get past this and we're going to finish out hard?
You know, it was very difficult after the game, especially since Mutiny was an amazing team. I mean, we knew that going in that they were going to be a very tough challenge, and I think we played our hardest. I mean, in the locker room, we just knew to keep our spirits up. Like, no, we didn't want like no one tearing each other down. We wanted to keep each other up and stuff like that, and just move on forward into the next game, which I think we did really well. And I also wanted to add on to Natalie's point of winning those first few games. Like, I feel like it gave us like a sense of unity, like knowing we are a very strong team, and it gave us that push forward that we needed to do really well in the season like we did.
Mitch and Hannah, what was it like? Obviously, going that drive home, or the travel home, obviously wasn't the most fun you could ever have. What was the reflection from your guys' side as it relates to coaches and front office to make sure that the girls knew, hey, we got to continue?
Okay, I'll go ahead. I think moments like that are helpful. You know, when you have too much success, you can get complacent, and it serves as a good reminder to self-reflect and use it as a tool to grow, not necessarily to look at it and say, oh, this sucks, this is it. Say, okay, bump in the road, like you said, how do we reflect and how do we improve? And it's a blessing in disguise. For me, okay, what can I do better behind the scenes to provide more resources to the players, to make sure they're more prepared going into the game? What can I provide better to Mitch to help him coach to his best ability? So just using moments like failure as a tool to continue to improve.
24 goals, 6 against all year. Going to Coppermine tomorrow, what's it look like? How do you prepare for essentially the unknown? Not a lot of video out there to get access to be able to say, okay, this is what they do on their corners, this is their strategy. How do you prepare for kind of the unknown as it relates to Coppermine tomorrow?
I wouldn't say there's a lot of unknown. We just spent the last 3 hours watching film on all of their players on Y Scout. We've watched their games back. You know, we're able to go into who they played before, minus that League 2 team they just beat. I couldn't find that film from, I think, MSI. But beyond that, I mean, the film's out there. You know, you can go and find every single player's touch categorized by key passes, assists, you know, literally dribbles, everything. It's all out there. We found it all. We just spent the last couple hours. We're going to spend a couple hours here tomorrow in the morning. You know, and we do this for every team too, so they're not really getting any special treatment there. But, you know, we got a good idea of what they got. We got a good idea of what we do well, and the biggest thing is just playing to our strengths and making them react to us.
Natalie, Casey, is there a team talk that takes place tomorrow on the travel there, or do you let everybody kind of just walk onto the pitch and soak it all up?
I think that like walking onto the pitch and soaking it all up is a huge part of it. But like we've all stated before, the buy-in is so huge that we have carpools set up and we know that we have the supports to get down there and win our battles and do what we need to do. So I think that it's pretty consistent throughout the team that we all know the job that needs to be taken care of tomorrow and what we need to do in order to achieve that. So there's a lot that can be said, but there's a lot that won't be said that is just pretty adamant throughout the team and throughout the coaching staff and throughout the community that I think speaks louder than words could even say.
Casey, anything to add to that?
You know, I was just going to say that for every game so far this season, we've always had some kind of scout. Like our coaches and Mitch have brought out key players that we should be looking for and how they play and how they move within the team and what impact they have. And we always go into a game knowing our strategy and what we are going to do. And if they do this, then we are going to do this. And we know how to adjust. Like even when it hits halftime and maybe they did something that was unexpected and we had no idea. We know how to adjust, and our coaches know how to adjust to move forward into the second half and have that success. So.
A win and a possible rematch with New England Mutiny on the cards, on the table, depending on what happens with the other matchup, Steel City and Back Mountain. But who do you have a preference? Would you want to play Sporting, or would you want to play New England and say, hey, we overcame it?
I think it would be a great honor to go up against Tiffany Weimer. We got to play her at League Two, and she wasn't playing, obviously, but just getting to coach against her. And, you know, there's some real coaches out in this league, like the New York Magic coach, Italian Soccer Hall of Fame, really long story career at Roma, Cologne. There's some awesome coaches that I'm really humbled that I got to go up against this season. And as much as I would love to play against, you know, any of them, you know, again, including Sporting, like I said, Tiffany is somebody who I greatly admire and have a ton of respect for as a coach and as a player. You know, I do think going up against Mutiny would also be, it would be a good, I don't want to say revenge match, but, you know, I can reflect on 3 out of 4 of their goals and I can look at it and it, you know, no disrespect to them. They're a fantastic team with fantastic players that have done fantastic this season. I just look at the goals that they scored against us, and I feel like we almost beat ourselves more that game than they beat us. And it would be awesome to go out there and, you know, have that opportunity to, you know, prove it not only to, you know, ourselves, but to everybody else that we feel like, you know, 8-0 is great, but getting to the national title, you know, you got to go through the best of the best. And I think we can.
Ludlow is going to be the direction for everybody who's coming out east, in my opinion. I think they've been a very strong team. They put together a squad this year with a lot of goals for, very little against. In fact, I think they only had 3 or 4 goals against, whereas you guys have 6, which is still a fabulous number. I think you guys, that's a testament to your back line, but also to the midfield, because you have to be able to possess the ball and go forward. So that's excellent stuff. The question is, wanting to play Tiffany, that's great. Beat Tiffany, play Ludlow, right?
You know, I mean, like I said, there's just some coaches and some players, you know, like Chioma Okafor and Kat Barry for Mutiny, you know, like just as me as a coach, I don't know how the players feel about it, but me as a coach, whenever you go up against players like that and coaches like that, it is an incredible honor. And I do my best to go out and let them know, you know, and it's not just those teams. Like, you know, I can think of Jo Van Rooyen from UAlbany. I have tremendous respect for her as a player. Riley Hopek, also from UAlbany, played at St. Rose, had a tremendous career there. One of the best center backs that I think I've seen play. Like, when you get to go out and play against some of those players, it is just a tremendous honor. And, if we get to go up against Tiffany, I mean, that's just going to be a ton of fun. We get to go out against and play Mutiny, then, that's going to be a ton of fun for, the reasons as to, what happened earlier in the season. So, I mean, whoever we get, wherever we go, we got to get through Coppermine first, and then, we'll see whoever we get. We'll go out there and we'll play our game.
Tomorrow, 7 p.m. in Baltimore, Coppermine United waiting for Hudson Valley for the next opportunity to play. I believe it's Friday or Saturday is when the next match is supposed to take place. What is it that separates Hudson Valley from everybody else going forward? I know it's kind of a redundant question, but I really think that people need to understand what makes you guys tick and what you look forward to. Win or lose, I don't think it really matters to you guys because you have such a great established program that's going forward. And I think that you'll always find ways to improve based off of that. I don't think you guys I don't think it's done. It's going to be unfinished business no matter what. You could win, and it's still probably you'll find ways, Mitch, to want to do better the following year. That's just the way you work. But for you four, what is it that Hudson Valley is going to be doing, not just this year, but the years to come?
I'll grab this one first. I think, like you said, I don't think anyone here is really complacent, and that's huge. Obviously, like you said, if we go win the national championship, we're going to find ways to get better. We're going to find ways to continue to improve women's soccer as a whole. And I was kind of reflecting back the other day. I remember going one of the first years at the NWSL and sitting on a lawn chair on the sideline to watch professional soccer players. And it reminded me very much of the culture now at a UWS game where, we have people, a small community, but not a ton yet. And so to be able to be a part of the growth of women's soccer, I think is a huge step, at least from my perspective and where I want to see this program go. And then just on the field, I think, like we said, we have the buy-in and we have this culture of not hard work, but enjoying it. I think we all enjoy the process of improving and going out every day, so that training is fun. Winning is obviously fun. So continuing that team culture of just working and improving on the field as well.
Yeah, and I think another thing, when I look at what we're trying to do, at least, within the club every year, last year we test piloted the mentorship program, and now we're able to launch that into a full program this year. And I think we got 9 players in that now. And, this year we're test piloting, a players to coaches pathway. And, we got 3 players in that now, and I'm hoping next year we can get those numbers up too to between 7 and 10. And I think that's how you can really make that impact, not just within the club, but within the community. I think, especially for me as a coach, coaching is something I'm very passionate about. My intent with that program is to essentially have somebody that comes in, plays on this team, and then takes my job, because they're better for it. They're the better person for it. I would love for that to happen. And that's one of my personal goals, to help establish within this team over the next couple of years. And, I think it's already going to happen this next coming season with League Two, but we'll see. But that for me, that's where I think the next step, at least for the players to coaches program is.
And from my opinion, I think that for the progress of this club, that the sky is probably the limit, and that honestly might be too limiting for Hannah. Hannah is 4 years younger than me, and her devotion to this club and devotion to women's sports and being an advocate for every single player as well, on the field, off the field, with their ambitions, their dreams, their whatever they want to do, is absolutely incredible. And I want that to be like the main point that like comes out of this interview, is that or this podcast, is that Hannah will achieve anything that she puts her mind to. And that's a testament to her character and her passion and her devotion to this program, and the way that she's grown, although I've only known her for a couple of months, from US 2 to this team now is absolutely incredible, and it makes me want to work harder as a captain, as a player, as a person. She's achieved absolutely insane things so far, and I genuinely think that the sky is the limit for her because she'll go farther than that.
I 100% agree with what Nat said. I just wanted to add on and say that I want to say like a big, huge thank you to the coaches. One thing that I think sets Hudson Valley Crusaders apart from a lot of the other programs is I feel like the coaches like set such a high level and standard, and they take so much time and energy out of their day to provide us with film and provide us with like gameplays going into the games and stuff like that. And me personally, I have never had or seen a coach like put that much effort, and it makes it so much more fun for us to go and win these games for us, for our whole team, for our players, and for our coaches and like managers and stuff like that. And especially since it's me and my sister's first time coming to this Hudson Valley Crusaders team, Mitch, Zach, Hannah, you guys have all been you've given us such a warm welcome. We can't thank you enough. We're excited to be back next year too.
So when looking at
first 3 signings next year,
first 3 signings, there you go. So tell us a little bit, last question, and then I'll let you guys go because I know sleep is important. Long travel tomorrow to Baltimore. What should people expect from this matchup tomorrow as it relates to either you guys coming out and performing or just in general? Are we playing front foot football? Are we looking to keep possession and move it? What's on the game plan, mad scientist here?
that is none of your business.
Fair enough. Great answer. I love it. Got to ask though.
Hey, I appreciate the effort. I know Coppermine. I see them looking at all of our Instagram stuff. They accidentally liked one of our posts from before. I know they're looking. I know they're watching.
We'll play our game.
Play your game. That's what I like to hear. Well, hey, listen, I know it's a little different back on the East Coast, being 9 p.m. and a little bit of travel to Baltimore tomorrow. Obviously, somebody's already in Baltimore ready to go. What'd you get there today or yesterday? You're getting ready already.
Yeah, Zach and I got here a little early. We just wanted to, arrive, settle ourselves down, put up some film on the big screen, go over some stuff. So we got here a little early. We're just hanging out.
Fair enough. There's some fun to have in Baltimore too. So, well, hey, listen, anything else to add before I let you guys go? Regardless, good luck tomorrow. I know it's the most important game in Crusader history to date. So hopefully you guys are ready and everybody's rested and ready to perform at the highest level tomorrow.
Yeah, I got nothing.
We're ready.
Fair enough. Well, hey, on behalf of UWS, we are extremely grateful for you guys to be a part of this show, not just the show, but the league itself. Really proud of the effort you guys have put out to date. Hopefully it's not over and we get to have another conversation regarding a semifinal, a final, and a potential face-to-face conversation at the national championship, July 19th to the 21st in Buffalo, New York.
Hopefully. We'll see you out there.
All right. Well, with that being said, have a great evening, you guys, and we'll talk soon, hopefully.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you.